Hello and welcome back. This is video number 4. We're going to talk about two different things. We're going to talk about bartering and a trick that I've created specifically to get more clients. So you can use bartering as a means to get more clients because some clients are just not willing to dish out a lot of money, but they're willing to offer you a high valued service that would normally cost you, $4,000 or $5,000 or $7,000 or in exchange for what you have to offer. And what you have to offer could, cost you a certain amount of time, several hours, about a day, a few days, or you could outsource the process for, a couple $100 or less. So I want to open this to you and kind of give you an eye opener on how you can go about bartering and how you can get more clients as well in not just bartering, but we're going to talk about two different methods that you can use. So like I said, some clients are just open to bartering rather than paying money up front. And I actually had a good example of this. I had an electrician who I had, come to my house and, I had them, give me estimates, and I picked and choose several clients, several electricians were actually became clients later on. Now, one particular electrician who came, I said, hey, how's work going? How's business going? Just start up a friendly chat. And, he told me what he was doing. And, he said, he was just frustrated because a company that he was paying was using non-native writers from India. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any good India writers. This company was just outsourcing to a non-English speaking type writers. So as you can imagine, the content that came back just didn't make a lot of sense, or it just wasn't really converting. So with this type of deal, you do need to have some sort of English speaking copywriter. And it doesn't matter if they come out of the US, Australia, the UK, as long as they are experienced in writing good sales copy, that is key. So this is the opportunity where you can take a big problem and say, hey, okay, I understand that you're getting content from non-English speaking, speakers, or whatever non-native language that you're trying to, create the content for. It doesn't have to be English. But for the majority of you, that's who I'm speaking to. But, if you want to get it written in Hebrew, then, or, Spanish, then you want to make sure that you use a native speaker in that language. And you might really want to find a good sales copywriter in that language. Now, going back to this, so that we don't get off in a tangent here, this presents a problem, but this presents an opportunity for you. Not only can you provide good content, you can provide content that converts. You can provide call to actions that get more click-throughs. And you can offer this to the client. And think about this as a means to gaining their trust. Once you gain their trust, you can do more things. You don't have to bombard them with, SEO, this and that just yet. You can do it, complete the job, gain their trust, and say, hey, along the way, I noticed your site as I was editing it, it was HTML. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but, you can get better rankings via WordPress and other means. You can do this, you can do that. Give them ideas on exactly what they can do. Be open. You can even tell them what to do. Because the majority of times, clients that go out and do it, they'll come back to you and say, hey, I can't do this. I got to do my job. I got to run my business. So they end up coming back to you because they realize that you're genuine and you actually care. You're not like everybody else who's just selling to sell. All right. So going back to my electrician, I had my whole house electrical system upgraded from 150 amps to 200 amps. He did all my wiring, something that would normally cost me about $3,500 to $5,000. I actually outsourced the content to a native English copywriter for about $500. It was a lot of content. It was about 30 pieces of content. But after that, of course, I'm pretty anal about stuff. So I reviewed the content, kind of rewrote it a little bit, repositioned a little bit of the angle of conversions to increase those conversions. So I did spend a little time, and I installed a bunch of WordPress plugins on its website, made sure that it was up and running, and a lot of the stuff, because it was kind of like my first thing, I did a lot of the work. But then as things progressed, I hired people on Fiverr, of all things. I paid people, $20 on Fiverr, and offered services that, normally charge, $500 or more because of that. Now, other examples. For example, I had a friend who now is a friend, but at the time was not, but he had a headhunter website. He basically would find people, clients who needed particular people for specific jobs. And this particular job website, his website was quoted by a competitor for $15,000. Now, I can understand that because they wanted a specific site that allowed them to collect interviewees, get them into their database so that they can interview them, and then get them to their client. So it was a process. But guess what? I found, I did some research. I found some WordPress plugins that actually would do all that stuff for free. So a free WordPress plugin. I actually found a free WordPress plugin that worked better than a paid version of a WordPress plugin. So as long as you do your due diligence, you find what you need, and you can see that, okay, this is definitely not going to take me that long. You can outsource this process for $50, get a WordPress expert, do all this stuff, and I quoted $3,000. So it wasn't a whole lot of time. I spent, a couple hours, and I outsourced most of it and gave them a very professional WordPress site. And I really converted them from HTML to WordPress. I installed a bunch of plugins, made it security, good security, good SEO friendliness so that they could add content in the future. And I got to sit down with their secretary, showed her, the routes of how to edit WordPress and things like that. And as far as saving time, you can find WordPress videos out there to, get these WordPress videos, put them on your website, and just point them to the training site very, very easily. In fact, if you do want WordPress videos, come to think about it, if you go to tutorialmixer.com, you'll be able to find private label rights to WordPress videos. So you can rebrand them with your own information and things like that. All right. So moving back over to here, what you want to do, like I said earlier, is look on Google and see who is running Google AdWords ads or just paid ads in general. If they're doing that, they're going to see value in what you have to offer. So you want to do your due diligence and spy on them. See what else that they are doing. And then, of course, you want to run their site through GT metrics like I showed you in the previous video, or you can use other analysis tools as well. It doesn't have to be GT metrics. And save the report as a PDF or save the link and send it to them. Now let's talk about a very specific method that you can use to get them to your house. Now, so if you have a house, this works really well. You can get stuff done at your house to get people, to come to you. So as they are coming to you, they're thinking, okay, I can sell something to you. But in reality, you can convert them into a client. So the one warning I want to say is do not abuse this. You want to be trustworthy, genuine, and honest. So do not abuse this. Let's say, for example, that you need to get a routine HVAC air conditioner cleaned. What you do is you get an estimate from 5 to 10 companies. Every time they come, you can ask them, hey, how is your business going? Get them to open up, share with them tips. A lot of times they'll say, business is doing okay. but it could be, or it's doing okay, it's doing really good, but it could be better. They're always going to say that. They're always going to want more leads, more clients, things like that. Now, if you ask them that, you give them information, they're going to say something like, well, I've got a WordPress site, or I got a website, and it's okay. I'm paying a lot of ads, this and that. I'm just not getting a lot of conversions. So what you could do is use my method earlier. Get estimates for 5 to 10 people that are actually, actually have a website, actually have a Facebook fan page, actually fall under the low-hanging fruit. Now, when I say don't abuse this earlier, I said, if you don't really need your air conditioner cleaned, then don't call people. It's not going to be nice if you call people, for quotes for plumbing if you don't really need plumbing. So I'm just saying that because that's who I am, and I typically, if I need something done, I'll call people. But in the meantime, use this to your advantage. That's really what I'm trying to say here. So what you can do, you got 5 different companies that have already been pre-qualified by you, and you share with them tips, you talk to them, and then you pick the contractor that you think can do the best job at your house, but is also probably a really good client that you can, pay them, and they can become your client. You got to realize when they come to you, their guard is down. It's harder for sellers to resist buyers' proposals. So obviously, you've already done your pre-qualification. There's really no guarantee that they are going to become a client of yours. But generally speaking, if you actually get them to do stuff and get them to your house, and then you say, hey, next time you come, I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. So come back later and do the job. Now, this tends to work really on, mom and pop type companies, not big franchises where they just send whoever. So typically smaller companies are easier to deal with. They generally are the people that do quotes. The owners will do the quotes and things like that. So if you talk to them and you really appeal to them, you say, hey, I'll show you something really cool. Or, hey, what's your email? I'll send you something, GP metrics analysis. I'll give you a free analysis of your website. So stuff like that can go a lot of ways. So like the electrician earlier, I was actually initially a buyer. I had him come to my house and grounded some of my outlets, and he added motion lights, some security and stuff like that. So while he was there, I gave him a lot of tips. I said, hey, this is what you could do to your website. Go do this and that. What I didn't realize that was he had actually already tried a lot of different things. So at that point in time, he was so frustrated because he had paid a lot of money to all these other companies. And he said, hey, you're actually giving me a lot of this information. Why? I'd tell him stuff where he could go out and do it, and he would actually go and do it, and he would get some results. And by doing that, I was able to gain trust. And in the long haul, he was willing to do more and more business with me. So this is not about SEO only. I had another client that came and, cleaned my gutters and everything. And I gave him a lot of tips on video marketing. So yes, video marketing, kind of SEO-ish, but I talked about, how to create a video that gains people trust, how to use YouTube for free. And you know what he did? He emailed me later and said, hey, I want to get started. I want you to look over my website, give me some tips and how we can work together. So it doesn't necessarily all have to be SEO. That's what I'm trying to get, because everybody else is trying to sell SEO. So it's about seeing where your client stands and how you can get them from this point A, to point B, which is getting clients and leads and potential customers. And what I've seen over the years is most clients and local clients have websites, that are not even to the point of being search engine friendly. So they're really missing out on the potential, SEO rankings with WordPress and things like that. So in the next video, we're going to talk about a crucial opportunity that arises because a lot of companies and a lot of clients just are not using WordPress.